Recording in progress.
Okay, so today we are going to be covering prospecting on social media. This is my favorite part. I feel like this is actually a more important part than any other thing you can do on social media. Um, and it is often abused, misused. I mean, any other negative you could throw out there. That's generally how it goes. With real estate, what we've kind of covered so far is that, in essence, social media is a great way to establish more touch points with people. You're able to actually like check in on them and see what's going on, especially your past clients. And as I've covered 1,000 times already, I've absolutely come to the conclusion that most agents lack a follow-up plan in almost every conceivable way. Um, just generally, right? I would say that is top to bottom all across the board. Um, and with social media, the beauty of it is that instead of sending like a, warm/cold email to someone periodically, you're actually literally getting a present view on their life and vice versa, right? We've really spent time talking about us posting content, which is in essence inviting them into our lives and our perspectives. But now we're kind of like flipping it, and we're going to be finding ways that we can follow them and stay more in touch with them. Okay. Thank you. Um, and for me, I feel like even if you don't post content regularly, you can still get leads by just prospecting and like talking to people like people. So even if you posted once or twice a week, you will still get a ton of benefit by actually going out and doing the legwork of prospecting and talking to people and leaving comments and DMs and blah 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 than you would by just posting and not doing any of the other stuff. So like in terms of time expenditure, it makes more sense to spend the time prospecting than it does to create. Got it? Okay. It's kind of like the secret weapon. Um, That being said, when I look at prospecting, I kind of look at it like a wheel. All right. So the idea is if we're following this wheel or following this structure, we're going to consistently have results, right? It's going to take over time. And for me, the results is just creating a conversation. It's not selling the house or getting them on as a buyer or whatever. It is literally just like, let's create more conversations over and over and over again. All right, so let's walk through this wheel. So the first thing we have is a prospect, right? And this could be any of your past clients, it could be your friends, it could be your family, it could be anyone, right? What we want to do with that prospect is we want to have some form of engagement with them. That might be leaving a comment on their post. It might be sending them a direct message. Even a happy birthday message could go a long way. Any type of engagement we can give them, it will help you connect with them on a deeper level. All right. Now, what we want to do is after we've connected with those people and we've engaged with those profiles, all of the social media platforms have told us that if we have made connections with other people, they are more likely to see our posts. All right. So if you are a person who is going out there and you're just posting periodically, once or twice a week, even if it's not high production value content, if you have made effort throughout that whole week to talk to more people, leaving comments, direct messages, you will see that your engagement on your own posts will go up exponentially. Okay. Which is really the main trap is if you're getting low views, if you're getting low reach, if you're getting low, engagement in general, broadly, it's probably because you're not engaging, more than likely, right? Not necessarily the quality of your posts or what you're saying, etc. It has to do with a lot of like social connectivity. All right. So once they've seen your post, we've already engaged with them in some way. Once they've seen your post, the idea too is that if you are the person who initially reached out to them, if they see your post, they should in turn be liking, commenting on yours, creating kind of like the social fabric and like the conversation kind of aspect of this. All right.
That box is them commenting.
Correct. Correct. So I mean, you're the salesperson, so you're in charge. So you need to make the first engagement. And then you're hoping that if you continue to engage, they're going to continue to engage with you and you're going to build this deeper and deeper relationship. So every time that you're posting, they are seeing your post show up in their algorithm. Okay. Like I mean, I'm sure you've noticed when you post something on social media, like the same people see it. Like it's usually your close family, it's your friends. Like, you know, I have friends that see my stuff that are in Virginia that like I don't see very often. My phone is not next to them, but maybe twice a year. Right. So like there is no other data point that they would have like, oh, this person knows you, other than literally just the amount of time we've been friends and the amount of engagements we've had on social media over those years. Right. And then the next thing we want to do is we just want to have some kind of follow-up plan. You know, and this could be reaching out to people periodically through direct messaging. You know, it could be both maybe a reaction to them commenting on something you've posted. It could it's just any type of follow-up, right? So with a lot of the agents that I've met with that do have like strong follow-up plans, they have literally, and I'm sure you've known of them and heard of them, they have a literal prospecting sheet that's like they grade their prospects and their sphere like A, B, C, D, F. Are you aware of this? Okay. So, I mean, it was kind of like a strategy that was like early 2000s. That was like a sales strategy. But there are several big agents around here that like this is what they do with their prospects, or their sphere generally. They okay, so they grade. It's actually double A. So they have people who are like double A clients, which means that they, you know, generally give them referrals, whatever their criteria for that is. Maybe it's 2 referrals a year, 3 referrals a year, whatever, right? But they have that person as like a double A, right? So they are like top tier people, right? Then it's graded down. So A. So maybe this person gives them 1 a year, 2 referrals a year, and then it consistently goes down. So B, they maybe get one periodically. C, they get one every so often. D, they get none. F, they don't even talk to them, but they're still in their sphere, right? And then the point of this prospecting, and this is separate from what we're covering today. This is literally just them reaching out like old school sales. But they go through their list and they have criteria for reaching out in whatever method that they prefer to like, I'm going to make sure that my double A people, they get talked to. But really, I want my single A people to get talked to twice as much because I want to move them to double A, right? Like if people are already giving you a ton of referrals, you just have to periodically touch them and like you don't need to change anything. You don't need to manipulate anything. You don't need to push them. Nothing. You just need to kind of keep it float. But people that are like A's and B grade with a little extra touch, you can make them move into a higher level of referrals, right? And then also part of that, like you know, like I get birthday cards from like realtors who like I'm on their sphere list. So like if I'm getting a birthday card, other people are obviously getting a birthday card or more because I'm not a double A, right? Like that's you would just assume, right? Um, yeah, I'm a solid D for most of them, I would say. The fact that I would be a C or a D and I get a birthday card linked to my house is pretty important, right? And then when I look at this like social media wise, you know, you can take your sphere and then making sure that you're following them on social media, like you can adapt that mindset to social media, which to me, I feel like is a better um I don't want to say manipulative because it is kind of manipulative, but like you are essentially hiding behind a screen. You're hiding behind like real events. You're not having to literally cold call someone, even if they're your friends, and been like blah 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 and generate a conversation out of thin air. Like there's at least context to what you're talking about, and you could talk about anything. Like you could share something that's just like silly to you. You could share it to 10 people and like who responds back saying it's funny. Like you've just started a conversation out of thin air, which is a lot easier to do on social media than it is like cold texting someone or cold calling someone. Right? Go for it.
That stop me if you're gonna go with this. What would that follow look like in this social, like besides DMing?
For this, the purpose is to DM.
Okay,
So if you've reached out to, you know, if you're friends with Vinny and you reach out to Vinny and you like their post, you commented on their post, maybe it's of their kids, right? Then you post your own stuff, and a couple days later, Vinny then likes your post, right? Or leaves a comment or whatever it is. Your follow-up for Vinny would be to send them a direct message. Hey, how's it going? You could send them something funny. You could send them a different post. Like you could,
like share a post with comment.
yes. if you see like a picture of like if it's of their kids, you would leave a public comment of like, oh my God, they look great. Like, oh my God, they run up so fast. But then you could send them a DM and be like, oh my God, I can't believe how fast they're growing up. Like you're literally saying the same thing, but it's a deeper level of connectivity.
Right.
And it allows them to share more. Right. So it's just, having a less of a plan, but just like a structure of like, I know that I'm going to reach back out to these people, especially when they engage with me. Right. And like when I think about it, when we first get clients, they're getting, 5 likes on a post. So like, and they're getting 1 or 2 comments. So it is a lot easier to manage reaching back out to 1 or 2 people versus if you're getting like dozens of comments or dozens and hundreds of likes on a post, that gets a little messy. But the idea for this is just to kind of get the wheels moving, right? Then it kind of starts feeding itself in whatever direction we want. So the big shift, going from posting to prospecting is no matter what, I mean, I see that most agents do, if they're posting, they stop there. And they really don't engage with people around them, right? They might scroll through their social media feeds, but like, again, most of us, we see things that are just kind of entertainment, algorithm pushes, like we don't actually see our sphere, right? So we have to make a discerned effort to actually go find our sphere on social media regularly, right? And I'll show you some other ways later. But we know that posting only works when it's paired with like intentional engagement, strategic conversations, and simple follow-up systems, which is what we basically covered, right? Doesn't have to be anything super crazy, but just some kind of structure where you're able to make sure that you're following these people and you stay engaged with them. All right. I'm going to, at the end of this, show you my creepy prospecting list for real estate agents. And it's kind of creepy. Because it's like, it's a spreadsheet and it has everyone's names and it basically has like, I, if I can periodically grade their social media, I'll grade their social media. And like, I have a whole structure of like, I know who to talk to more than I know who not to talk to. If they already have great social media, like, other than having a conversation with them, like, I'm not trying to sell them on anything. I'm not trying to prospect them. I'm literally just having a conversation with them, which could lead in a whole bunch of different directions. But the point is that, and I'll show you, even on a spreadsheet, you can have something that at least will be helpful for you prospecting, both social and off of social, right? Um, and really the rhythm with this is, content creates visibility, engagement creates familiarity, and conversations are the things that actually create clients. Okay. Um,
Right.
mhm.
Is it the same people that you focus on? You're like, blow it all in, or like, are you doing like, hey, every 30 days, like I wonder if I should focus on this, they would pop. Nope. If I don't know how to start it.
I mean, for me, I mean, I go all in until there's no steam left.
Oh, bang them in head for a while, and if it's not working out, sub it out for somebody else.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, but that doesn't work for like people. Because people, you have to be generally everywhere. Uh, You know what I mean? Like it doesn't like for me, prospecting is literally like a focus for business and a real estate agent, if they're lacking marketing generally, then like they need that today just as much as they need that tomorrow, just as much as they need it 6 months from now, on and on and on. So like I will like be all over their posts and I like all of their posts and I send them comments and I send them direct messages that aren't like salesy. I just try to like have a conversation. If they literally don't answer my DMs after 2 DMs, I'm out. Like I'm not gonna call them out of the blue. Like I'm not pushing anything salesy. I'll just be like, wow, that looks really good. Like something to kind of keep the comments going. And then in my direct messages, I'll be like, hey, I saw this and this person's doing this. Do you think that you guys could do something like this? And like share a video from another realtor in California. Like something just to like, can I get a bite? Right. 30 to 50. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's it for you guys. I mean, it's not, you guys have to be focused on like 100 plus, but you can. I mean, that's like but you can. There was a time when like that would be overwhelming, but like if you follow people on social media, and we're gonna go through, but like your spreadsheet should really only feed into like, okay, here's my list of names with the phone numbers, with the, whatever, the emails, etc. But like, there's a column which is like, am I following them on Facebook or whatever your preferred social media is? And then another column is just simply like, when was the last time I had any conversation with them? Like, that's it. So like, I would assume that most agents don't even have all of those people on their social media.
They can remove the FF. They're just
No. Yeah.
not touching, but that's not,
You're socially touching them? I don't know. That sounds worse. I don't know. Yeah. That's way worse. I always hated the term touch when it's like, oh, they just touch them. I'm like, I don't, most people should be touched. Like, I don't do that. Can we just like talk to them? I'm not sure. Yeah, let's have dinner first. Reaching out. That's better. That's better. So yeah, and I'll show you with the, for me, like with marketing, everything is apparent. So when I'm reaching out to realtors, like they either have great marketing, they have medium marketing, or they have no marketing. Like it's a very simple structure of like, okay, if you already have great marketing and you're a big team, you've already hired someone to do that, or you have someone internally to do it. So like, other than just being like friendly with them, like I'm never going to talk to them and pursue them to do business with me because like, why? I'd rather just like have a conversation with them and like periodically talk about something about the industry. Someone that has almost no social media engagement or social media at all, I'm going to wait for them to come to me. I'm still going to be friendly if I know them and met them before, but like I'm not going to go actively pursue them because why would I do that if they have literally nothing? The barriers to get over if they have nothing, it's more of me being like, let me just tell you like a couple different things to get you started. And then you get started. And then that's kind of it. And just like call me if you ever need anything or you have a question. It's the people right in the middle for me that I'm going after because like they're at least showing that they have interest, they're experimenting with things, they're doing some things, they're probably producing in some way, shape, or form. Like they're at least open to the concept of like, I need more marketing or I need a structure or whatever. But for you all, you have something that is literally bought or sold once every 5 to 10 years. So like there is no real structure. It is literally just like I need to stay in contact with them as a human being, not as a realtor. Okay. And so we'll go through. Um, Again, like the traditional prospecting was more of like an interruption. That's like the cold call sales kind of thing. Like you're literally interrupting someone's day, right? With social prospecting, it is more of like an interaction. So you are having an interaction with someone. It's low stakes, not that big of a deal. It can be simple and it can be effective. And over time is what really starts building credibility and trust. Right. Engagement does train algorithms to show you to more people. So the more that you engage with people and vice versa, the more likely your stuff is to actually get seen by others, especially those you want to be seen, i.e., it keeps you top of mind. And if you're commenting on people's posts regularly, I've noticed this just with realtors. If I'm commenting on their post for a little while and like, just showing up basically when I do send the DM, even if it's just a generic conversation, they're more likely to answer it. Like because I've shown up before, right? And even technically, because I've shown up on their profile in other ways, the system itself, like Instagram, isn't going to bury me in the spam folder because I've engaged with them before. If I just literally pick someone out of thin air and send them a direct message, if we have almost no affiliation, I'm going to end up in their spam folder on Messenger or on Instagram, right? That separate little folder that's like, do you know this person? So and so's trying to send you a message. Do you even want to see the message? Versus like, I'm showing up in your inbox and you're having a conversation with me, right? There's no permission needed at that point. So we have to just continue to engage in whatever way, shape, or form that is. So liking, commenting, sharing their posts, literally anything that we can do. Commenting does rank higher than most things, right? I would assume that also, if I'm following one of my first time home buyers, like I'm not going to share pictures of their family that they posted to other people. So like that doesn't really make any sense. So the best thing that you can do is actually leave a legitimate comment, or send a DM, right? Now, this is one thing that we can do that can really seriously help your overall reach, right? So whoever's on Instagram, take out your phone right now and open up Instagram. All right, let me know when everyone's on there. Okay, so when you are on your home page, all right, you see the little Instagram logo at the top, right in the middle. If you touch that, it gives you a drop down. One says following, one says favorites. Hit following.
That's who I'm following or who's, I don't know how, okay.
That's who you're following.
Oh, followers. What do you do with that?
So when you're on your home page on Instagram, so when you first open it up, there's the Instagram logo right on top in the middle, right? And all you need to do, of course, this is in the way. All you need to do is hit that Instagram logo, and then you'll see right here, it says following. Click following right here. If you look at the posts that pop up underneath it, you'll see that it says 1 minute ago, 2 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, and not like 3 days ago, 2 days ago. So it bypasses your algorithm.
Mine keeps popping up Britney Spears all arrested.
Oh,
Is she really?
I'm sure mine did too. Uh, you are on your profile, so you got to go to home. Yes, home in the left corner. Yeah, it's got, see where it says Instagram at top? Click Instagram. So there's like a little drop down, following. And now it changes your algorithm, or sorry, changes your home feed to not show you the algorithm. It shows you a chronological post, which is how Instagram used to do. So when you have your prospecting list and you've successfully followed all of your people, you also can have, which you also see there's a favorites list. You could also have a favorites list. I think it's only listed up to 20 people, but that can happen. But if you're diligent on who you're following and you have your sphere in there, every so often you're going to have one of your people on your sphere show up on that, and they would have never shown up on your algorithm because your algorithm is full of Britney Spears getting arrested. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, but the good thing is that if you do switch it to following, the same place that you found that, it still is going to be in there. It's just going to be whenever chronologically it was posted. All right. And there is a kind of carve out to that. Anytime you close the app, it goes away. So the next time you open up the app, it's going to go right back into the same old algorithm feed. So you have to manually do that if you want to use that way to go through Instagram. Okay. But if you are a diligent salesperson, you do have a prospecting time during your day, and you literally like spend 15 minutes under that and just and go through the list. Like their posts, comment on their stuff, like engage. All right. Now you can also do that for Facebook. Facebook's a little bit different. If you see, like, if you open up Facebook and you see, it's a little hard to see, but there's an arrow on the right, and my Facebook might look different than yours. Instagram typically looks the same, but Facebook can look very different depending on what app you have. All right. Maybe that bar that you see with my little face in the corner next to the bell, maybe it's on the bottom of the screen, which is kind of how it is for some people too. But there is that circle with your face and the little hamburger menu on it. If you click that, it's basically, it opens up like your different settings. There should be a, yes, there is a video, and I don't know why it's not playing. Just watch the video on the right here. So I clicked on that, it gives me this drop down, and then what I clicked on was feeds. Hold on, I'll go right back.
Clicked on the search. No, you clicked on
Right here.
the little person.
Yep. And then it gives you a whole bunch of tiles.
Great. Whole bunch of tiles.
Okay. And then feeds, you have a bunch of different feeds. And it's chronological just like on Instagram. So it'll be things to the minute. You'll probably have to get buried with more can you turn your phone around?
Okay, so I clicked on that and this is what they found.
Okay, so click on the hamburger in the left, the hamburger menu. Now do you see the tiles? Yeah. Like literally everyone's Facebook app is
Here.
yeah, completely different.
Okay, and so the feeds is what?
It gives you another chronological like version of looking at it.
So,
Okay.
no, and then it says favorite, friend.
Yes. Friends would probably be the first thing I would go to because then
Yeah.
it bypasses your algorithm and only shows you people you're friends with.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
So, to get to the, essentially the easy structure of a prospecting list, what I typically tell people to do is, like when I'm coaching people, I literally say, look, you need a list. It's a spreadsheet. It just has your past clients on it. It has a tab for Instagram, right? So, like, can you find them on Instagram, right? If you're friends with them on Instagram, find them on Instagram, friend them, follow them, however it is. Any Facebook friends, if you're really trying to maximize what's going on with your prospecting sheet, have a separate column for like people who are engaging with your stuff. So maybe like a yes or no drop down on a spreadsheet that's like, have they engaged with me? Do they talk to me regularly? Like some, whatever your definition of that is, do that. And then a even better one, probably best for real estate, is having a tab that is like, have they recently moved? Right. So like, did you sell them a house recently? Which is really what that means. Do they have kids? Do they have new kids? Like any additional details that can help you stay informed with like, okay, they will have a real estate need in the next few years here. Like any additional detail. And again, it is up to you. This can be as crazy detailed as you want, and it can be vaguely sociopathic, or you can just have something simple. Like, am I following them on social media? When was the last time I talked to them? Something simple. Okay. Now, what I said for you all, the goal is 50 to 150 people you intentionally engage with per month. I mean, if you did 10, if you really went out and found 10 people a day, like if you followed a sheet and went after 10 people per day and just like Vinny Solovano and then go Vinny Solovano and like their most recent post, comment on their most recent post, even if it's 2 days ago, like that is a structure you can follow, right? And it doesn't matter the time because now we all know that all these posts we could see the post 3 days after that they already exist. So like it doesn't seem weird that it's 3 days after, 5 days after. This is just maybe when it hit your newsfeed, right? So it can be simple, but even if you did 10 people a day, I mean, like on a 30 day, like that's 300 people. So like only 10 people a day. It doesn't have to be anything super crazy, right? For us, what we do is like, depending on what tier people work with under us, we do either 15, 30, or 45 minutes per day that we spend on their account, which adds up to be quite a lot throughout a day, which is why I typically don't post a lot of my own things because I'm spending 2.5 hours on other people's posts. The idea is that, if you do this 5 to 10 minutes a day, you just like posts from your list, leave one or two thoughtful comments. So if you had 10 people, this is for them. So like 10 posts, leave one or two thoughtful comments, reply to any of the stories. So like scroll through your stories because you end up sending them a direct message, like we've discussed before, which is a much better opportunity for you creating conversation. It's also timely and it doesn't seem weird because you're essentially responding to what they've been putting out there. So like if someone was posting on their stories, Britney Spears getting arrested, Like sending a DM being like, oh my God, right, exactly, would be like timely, it would make sense, and it would be the best conversation you could probably have that day, more than likely. Right. I mean, it could be it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so stories are always the 24-hour content that stays on the top of your newsfeed. So on Instagram, those little circles, on Facebook, they're little like rectangles. They're always at the top of your newsfeed. They are separate from your actual newsfeed.
So when do you mean reply to stories?
So if you clicked on any of those stories, it
Yeah.
pops up full screen. You can swipe through them and see people's stories. On the bottom of every single one of those stories, it has a little space where you can send them a message. It's like a message prompt. So you're replying to what you're seeing on their stories. Okay. Um, that is a super effective way to prospect because, like, really, with the algorithm too, and the stories algorithm, if you're making a diligent effort to look up these people for 30 days, after 30 days, those people's stories are going to be showing up higher and higher in your stories. So you're more likely to just see them without having to go search them out over time. Does it make sense? So it really does kind of turn into like a prospecting machine as opposed to like winging it for 6 straight months. Like after 3 months, you will have your people and your sphere showing up more and more often in your feed without you looking for them, right? You just have to do the legwork at the very beginning, right? Inbound, so outreach, what we talked about before. Inbound, replying to comments, responding to those stories, reactions. So if you're posting stories and someone makes a comment on yours, make sure that you respond to them. Like yesterday, I posted that I am 3 years sober. Um, thanks. And people obviously left me comments. I posted at 9 o'clock at night. Like I'm not gonna like reply to every single person's comment, but like today, my goal is to reply to every single person's comment. Like I'm like a huge believer in that because even if I don't post it often, the fact that I actually take the time to reply to everyone has an impact. Like on them seeing me, on just when like we talk to each other, just has an impact, right? So that is my goal for the day, but it still is. It's 24 hours later, right? Not that big of a deal. So like go through and respond to anyone who has said anything to you, comment wise, story wise, etc. Right? That is important. If you do polls and things like that inside of your stories, which we did not discuss, but you can do that, acknowledge any of those poll votes. There's a lot of agents that do that around Pittsburgh. They'll be like, hey, what's a better neighborhood to live in? Like, generally ask a question. You can vote on social media. Maybe for a Britney Spears thing, it would be like, when did we think she was actually going to get arrested? It's been too long or not soon enough. I just spit all that one. Um, and then do like 5 minutes of outreach. So going out and directly starting conversations with people through DMs, that is probably the best way that you could spend this 15 to 20 minutes per day doing engagement. You will get a copy of this in the replay, and you'll also get a copy of the actual presentation, so you can go through and kind of like pick through whatever you need to. One thing that we do notice, and I think this is a human thing, but when you comment on someone's posts, and everyone's guilty of it, so like you're going to do it half the time anyway, but try to actually be a genuine person and not just be like fire emojis or like happy faces or like
Try to channel the person that you're in their account or just keep it generic.
I mean, if you keep it generic, like yeah. There are so I have like I have like established rules where I'm like, if the comment is generic, I reply generically. If it's someone who like this is like they're making an in joke on the comment, I then text the person and go, Nicole just posted like she left you a comment, you gotta reply to her. Like, I'm out, hands are washed. But yes, I tried to do that, and it backfired horribly. I had a client who liked the Browns and like I commented something about like they made fun of the Browns and I like basically like kind of like laughed it off. And like that guy, the agent would have been like pissed. So like, do you know what I mean? Like it was not like I shouldn't have replied to the comment. I should have been like, so and so just made fun of the Browns, but I just didn't realize that he was a fan of the Browns, and his arrangement with him and his friend would have been like obviously much more severe. And I was just like, oh, whatever, like something stupid and simple and generic. So like I blew that one, and he was very upset by that because now his friend knows that he's not in control of his social media.
Yeah, I slept wrong.
Best friend of me, like this was like his best friend. So his best friend was like, dude, like you're having someone like reply to your comments, like that's absurd. So it became a thing. Um, what I like to think about it is, if you're seeing people and they're posting pictures at restaurants, if you're seeing people posting pictures at events or whatever, having them like the examples here. That restaurant is packed every time I drive by. What did you order? Like anything, right? So maybe it's the front exterior of the restaurant, or like maybe they do even have the photo of whatever we ate later. Like, who cares? Ask them what they ordered. Like, take an extra effort and not be like, wow, looks great. Oh my God, hope you had fun. Like, ask more questions, right? It's like sales 101. Never do like the yes, no answer. Like, always ask an open ended question. Get more out of them, more out of them, more out of them, right? Again, vaguely sociopathic, but that's sales. Um, how long have you lived in that area, right? So if they're in there talking about like a park in their area, et cetera, like anything that you can do that can actually get more information out them gives you a higher chance of continuing that conversation, moving it to a direct message, or just seeing like a actual genuinely interested person and not just like a comment bot, right? So we just want to try to be human. That's basically it. All right. Um, a little bit about calls to actions. I don't feel like I feel like they're underused and overused at the same time for real estate. What I mean by that is there are a whole bunch of real estate agents and coaches and things like that that are like, leave me a DM and I'll give you whatever for free. And it's like this constant like, I'll give you this for free. Like just like leave me a comment and I'll do this and I'll do like just a constant call to action, like never ending call to action, right? I think that is a misfire. But at the same time, I do feel like most agents, especially if you're posting anything real estate related, if you don't have some kind of call to action, like you're missing out on starting a conversation. Does that make sense? I'm seeing some confused eyes.
Yes, it does. So give me an example of a call to action that you like.
For let's say if it's a community-based video, um, the call to action is like send me if it's a park, send me a message if you have a park like this in your neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like, send me a message if you have an even better idea or a better park or like make my stuff better. Like, show me your expertise. You're still starting the conversation and you're getting them to reach in, but like you're basically positioning them as the expert and you want people to feel kind of egotistical and like, oh, I know more than she does. Do you know what I mean? Like, um,
What?
yeah.
Social media.
Like, I know it's just like, okay, so for us, like if I posted a community-based video, the hard call to action would be like, comment guide and I'll give you my guide on the South Hills area. Right. But like that's like, but it does work. And there are people who come in and download the guide. And now I have some random person's name, phone number, etc. But a different approach would be like the next post would be like, whatever, here's a new restaurant and blah 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 blah. Do you have better pizza in your area? Like, have you had this and did you like it? Like, let me know if there's better options around. Like,
Or message me if you have your message me your favorite restaurant or something.
yes, but not for like, so I can go tour another one. Like,
Right.
like this is not to help you. This is literally like giving you a platform to just share your opinion. I want to hear your opinion. Please tell me something, right? Especially if it's like yours is better than mine. Like, I'm opening the door for you to tell me that I'm wrong. And people like generally
Love to
go
do that.
right through that door, right? So like you are that, and that's the whole thing with like negative engagement and like negative bait of like, here's the things you shouldn't be doing. Here's the worst things you can do. It's to get people to like jump on it because they're more likely to jump on that than if they're just listening to you being like, here's the things you should be doing. Like you're like, okay, all right, whatever. But if it's like, here's the things I shouldn't be doing, you're like a little kind of curious. You also are like, oh, well, you're wrong. Like it just generates more emotions and opinions and all that stuff, which leads to better conversations.
Like really hard for me
Okay.
to think about doing this. It makes me very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I don't know how to get around that because I think it's creepy.
As I've, if you haven't heard my sociopathic mention
Yeah, I've heard
several times.
Yeah, and then the one thing that bothers me in real estate because it is that, and I don't know how to get around that. I mean, I thought when I started this job, my really my phone number on this personal phone
Right.
on my card.
Right.
I thought it just kind of
Or on your car, like some other people. Yeah. Or on a giant billboard.
even when I looked cute and young and fabulous, I didn't want my picture on my card. I just
Right.
didn't. Oh, I thought people would just call me up because I'm really smart. I can do a great job, and they don't ask. Well, maybe I'll tell you.
Yep. Did you ever hear that in real estate school? Like the secret agent, the worst thing to be is a secret agent. Right. As cool as it seems, it's still the worst thing to be. I agree. I mean, I feel like if you the sociopathic part for me is like, which is sales, is having a prospecting list and like quantifying my interactions with people.
And I know
That's it's not being fake. The spreadsheet to me is like I'm taking something that I would normally like. I'm a person who's like I'm an extrovert introvert. Like I could literally live in my house for months and like be fine. Like when I'm out in public, like I can talk to people and I can talk to you for 17 million hours. Like I'm cool with that. So like I can live in both worlds. So it is easy for me to have like a ton of conversation with someone and also literally sit next to someone in silence for hours. Like neither one messes with me in any way, shape, or form. What I am saying sociopathic about is like I now, if I had a 17-minute conversation with you and we talked about real estate marketing, like I now have to open up a spreadsheet and be like, I talked to them on this day about these things. That feels odd. Like that's not a human experience, right? The human experience is like having an actual conversation about this, but then as a social or not a sociopath, as a person, slowly slipping it in of just saying like, hey, like, what about this market? What about that? Like just those little tiny angles that they teach you in like sales 101.
obviously, if I was super fabulously successful in real estate, I would have those answers already, and I don't.
Here's the thing.
We need it.
Here's the secret though. The secret isn't marketing, the secret sales. The secret is psychology. Like it's not marketing. Like really good marketing just employs psychology. And like really good marketers leverage psychology and the way people think. Like flashy, showy, shiny is, especially if there's money involved, is designed because they want people who fall into flashy, shiny kind of things. So like it is engineered for that. With sales and particularly real estate, when you're selling something so periodically and it's so expensive, the only thing to be good at is to just be a nice, trustworthy, relation-based person who like can continue to have conversations with people out of the blue. And like not, let's talk about real estate. It's every 6 months, I gotta talk to you about real estate. Like that's horrible. Like that's the old school thing that has given real estate a bad rap. It is literally like every 3 to 6 months, have I talked to that person about what they like? Like, have I complimented their kids in the last 3 to 6 months?
But at the same time, they have to remember that you're in real estate so that when they need you.
If you show up enough, they'll just know you're in real estate.
Because tomorrow you'll have a real estate.
Right. Like the
Yeah.
yeah. Like it's just the nature of the beast. But it's like that's just like, okay, if you are you friends with nurses? Okay, so nurses might be a little different, so I might have just bought myself into a trap. Um, how often do you talk about nurses about nursing?
Every day, my son.
When you're sick.
When you're sick,
Yeah, like when, yeah.
when you have a question, right?
Teaching my kids sleeping. Yeah.
What should I do? This has now occurred.
Right.
This is happening. But all of the other times that you're talking to a nurse, do you talk about nursing? Right.
Right.
You might talk about something crazy that's happened at work, which is just a general relational kind of thing. Like you also have crazy stories that happen at work, which you can share with other people, and they'll be like, I have something just like that, or I can top that. Like conversation, right? Um, accountant. Do you ask accountants about their job? Like, do you ask, like, you generally don't. Now, during tax season, you ask accountants about taxing or tax seasons or how crazy it is or what's different or blah, 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 blah. But like when it's in season. So like your people will ask you about real estate when it's in season for them. If you just shove it down their throat, they're going to get repelled because it doesn't have anything to do with what they need or want or care about. Make sense? Like talk literally about television shows. If you just posted about television shows, you would get a massive audience because you're just being a person. Like at least you'd have people talking to you. Like maybe not a massive audiences and followers, but like you'd have way more people talking to you than you do currently because you're just being relational, right? The same thing, even like the agents that I used to tell people like don't talk about politics. Now I'm like, look, if you're willing to roll the dice, talk about politics until you're blue in the face or red in the face.
Really?
Yes, because it's everywhere. But you run the risk
Alienating.
50%. But if I eliminated 50%, but then tripled my spot, was it worth it? I mean, yes, I've eliminated my potential, but I've just now enhanced massively by being like, this is what I think and this is what I believe. Are you with me or are you not? I mean, I agree.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, like, there are plenty of politically minded people who like they're hiding it. Whereas, like, if you talk to them in conversation, that's the first thing they would talk about. But then they don't talk about it online. Like, that doesn't make any sense. If the first conversation they're going to have with you is about politics, why aren't they talking about it online? Because you know, when they open up that door for someone, they're going to bring up politics in that first meeting because they can't shut their mouth about it. It's just who they are now. Yes. I mean, and same thing with, even like religion. If you're religious, like be religious. Like, at,
So narrow. I guess it's talk more.
I mean, it is literally just talking more. I mean, bless you, about whatever it might be. Right. So here's some basic rules for, us sending direct messages to people. I look at this as like, no matter what, just don't pitch people or talk to them about real estate. Like literally, you could talk to them about anything else or send them any other message. Never talk about real estate. It's never going to get a good response. It's not, you don't, there is no need for it unless there's a need for it. So like,
Right.
and even the value of people's houses, like it's almost like it's kind of irrelevant because like everyone just assumes that their house is gaining value. And like until they're actually going to do something, it doesn't matter. They're just assuming it's gaining value. Now, if there's a market turn and our stock market drops 20% and interest rates drop, like then we'd be like, oh, now this is actually a pertinent topic because people would care. How much money, like, okay, were I gaining, but now how much money has I lost? Is like a much more scary emotional spot to be in than just like, been in this house for 10 years, man. I got paid this thing off 10 million times. Like, oh, no one cares. Like they just don't care, right? Same thing with interest rates. Until it actually literally moves like by 2 points or more, no one cares. Until it's under 5, who cares? Like they're going to hear this information on the news. Like no one cares, right? Even think about how much people are paying for everything. Like we complain all the time, but like, have we stopped paying for these things? No, like because no one cares. Like we just continue to pay for it out of convenience. So with real estate, the last thing you should talk about is literally real estate. With DMs, sorry, with DMs, the last thing you should talk about is real estate. First thing you should talk about is something about them. So if you're following their posts, again, see a picture of their kids. Oh my God, they're getting so big. And then in the DM, in all caps, with a whole bunch of exclamations, oh my God, they're getting so big. That is terrifying. How's it going? What's it like? Like a much bigger conversation than like you could literally say the same thing than just leaving a public comment. All right. And then, our to-dos, be human, be curious, and let that thing unfold naturally, like you would if you were stuck in a room with them randomly. All right. Relationship first, real estate second. A couple of non-salesy scripts, which again, I said you should keep it human, so sales scripts are kind of stupid, but just to give you some vague examples, after they've maybe engaged on your post, I've been seeing your posts pop up a lot lately. How have you been? Like, generally human, right? If you reply to like their story, okay, I have to ask, where is that place? Like, and that's how you would probably say that in conversation, because if you saw that, you would not like you would have that little interjection moment of like, I'm sorry, but I gotta ask, where's this at? Where's that from? Like, if you comment on each other's fashion, sorry, I have to ask, like, where'd you get that? No one just says like, where did you get that? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't. It's just you're essentially being human, and that's how you would ask it. Reconnect script. So, again, another tee up. Random question: are you still in the same place, or have you made a move since we last talked? A little bit more real estate, not specific. Okay. And then another soft real estate bridge. I've been having a lot of these conversations lately. Totally curious where you've been at or where you're at. Opening doors, not pushing them through. Right. So, what I would say is like if you sold them a house years ago, they had a kid, maybe they had 2 kids, they've obviously outgrown the house. You know just as well as they know. That's when the door to real estate starts opening up more. And that's when the conversation seems to be more and more and more about that. So, like asking them questions about the property and how they've changed it for the kids. Like, and especially if you can recall, like, remember the unfinished basement? Did you turn that into a den? You only had 3 bedrooms, but now you have 2 extra kids. Are they sharing a room? Like,
Right.
subtle, not like you need a new house, right? Um, which is the old school realtor would be like, oh my God, you got another baby, you need to make this now. Give me a call. Throw the card. But that's like how
Yeah.
70% of them work. Right. So another thing that we can do is we can prospect without DMs. So any type of passive signals, we're trying to watch these things as we're watching their content, we're seeing them hit our newsfeed. Like we were saying before, like, are you noticing things like they're outgrowing this place? Are they thinking about moving? Are they talking about doing a whole bunch of remodeling? Like, save the money and don't remodel that house, maybe buy a new house. Are they making the wrong remodels?
So then how,
I mean, this is just you looking for passive clues.
oh,
This is not leveraging a comment based on that. This is like you just being a good detective as you're liking their posts. Okay. So just like internal.
okay.
Any recommendations if they're asking for recommendations. So like if they're asking for recommendations for a deck, then like, do they have an existing deck? Did you sell them the house? Have you ever been to their house? What's the deck like? Do you actually have someone? Like, give them the recommendation. Do you see what I mean? So you're just looking for clues. Okay. There is no script or like precise thing that you should be
You
saying.
don't help on it.
I mean, like if it's a recommendation, definitely pounce on
Yeah,
it
yeah,
for sure. I mean, don't pounce on it like a realtor would. Pounce on it like a human being would.
right.
Yes, pounce in terms of urgency, not in terms of topic. Okay, and then another way that you can use quiet prospecting is by using polls and stories to get interactions from people. So if you do open up your Instagram right now, so if you want to do that right now, you can. And you click on the little plus button, wherever that might be on your device. You'll see that there's a little section for stories.
There's a section,
So if you're under stories, it's probably trying to capture a picture of you right now or a picture outside. If you see that in the top right-hand corner, approximately, there's a little, it looks like a sticky note with a sticker, like a face on it.
maybe bonfire,
It could be, it could be.
and it says add the story.
Yeah, so story. Oh, sorry, just take your picture. We're not gonna post it.
Okay.
Yeah, take a picture. Okay, thank you. All right, so after you've taken your picture, you see in the top right-hand corner, or maybe in the left, it depends on whatever you have set up. There's like the little text button with two A's, one uppercase, one lowercase. There's also like, it looks like a sticky note with a smiley face on it. Does everyone see that? And after you've taken your picture or typed in your text or whatever,
Sorry again.
it's not on the screen.
Okay, yes,
All right.
I had to give it.
Oh, okay, okay. So after you've done that, if you hit that little sticker, you're going to see a pop up, and this is far away, but you can at least kind of vaguely see. It at least looks like this, and it has a whole bunch of little features. Yep. Add yours photo, imagine me, it's basically AI cutouts. But you see there's also like a poll, link, a little smiley face that looks like a little bar,
Yes.
like a,
Yes.
engagement bar, a countdown, donation. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Using those, especially like polls, or the little slider bars, are amazing ways for you to get people to comment and leave direct messages to you.
What do you think of this crappy picture I just took?
Sure.
The Facebook?
Well, Facebook has some of them too, but I'm talking about Instagram specifically now. Yes. So when you open up Instagram, you'll see a plus sign. All right. So you hit the plus sign. Then it's going to give you like, if you look at the bottom of that, it should say something like either reels, stories, etc. Does it say any of those things? If you're under the story tab, you could just take a picture of your computer right now. It's just to get you to the next screen. Or you could type out some text, doesn't matter. And once you've done that, then now you're in kind of this editing middle ground, I guess you could say. And in the top right hand corner, there's going to be a little sticker that has a smiley face on it. It'll be either above the text or it's like, it happens.
The background, music, website,
Yes. So there's like a little sticker, it looks a little sticky note. Hit that.
face, wife.
And there'll be like an option for poll, a little smiley face on like a slider. So ask polls. So like again, if you took a picture of a restaurant you just went to for an exterior and just have a poll being like, have you been here before? Do you like this place? Is there better food than this? Right? I mean, you could be obviously clickbaity as much as you can because that will get more engagement. There's probably like a character limit in some way, shape, or form on the polls.
So when you do posting, do you just do what place? Not like a ghost, like you have Facebook and Instagram. You just do put you down for the restaurant, you go to. Do you just do both or just one?
I mean, I would always advise people like pick what platform you enjoy the most.
Focus on.
Focus on one. There should be a blue button on the bottom right hand corner. It says like either post the stories or something like that. Yours could look different.
I just
don't have that too.
There's like on the left it says your stories and then close friends, and then on the right, if you hit that arrow, you have a little bit more options. Yes.
Difference when you reach your personal or your business page on these.
Personal 9 times out of 10. Because people follow people and people care about people. They don't care about businesses.
Is, is, is that, okay for now posting at that moment, you do it later?
Yeah,
Like
that's fine.
you go to a restaurant, you do it, 2 days later or something.
That's fine.
Okay,
No one, I mean, no one really, unless it's topical, like this happened on this specific time and only on this specific time. But if it's just you going to a restaurant, like,
I travel a lot.
Yeah.
Never post stuff. Cause
Right.
I feel
while you're there,
exactly,
Right.
the one, they say, oh, you're travel, so I find other agents.
yeah, then do it like when you're back. And you can so
I feel like, oh, I already passed, but I'm probably not posting it.
use your life like you know your life. So like you could even use the frame of reference of like remembering this gorgeous view from this place. It could have happened a day ago, a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, 10 years ago. It's irrelevant, right? Because it's in your memory. Okay. Even if you're even there, you could say in my memory. No one knows, like no one knows. Okay, so we covered some of those things. I'm going to be talking about this more next week. So just for the sake of time, I'll talk about the DM automation next week. Um, a couple things just not to do. So like hard lines, here's what not to do. Do not wait for people to DM you first. Like salespeople kind of just take the first shot. Just don't talk about real estate. Simple terms, right? Um, don't only engage when business is slow, which is like how it goes. Yes. We need to be like, and the salespeople that are in your office and the salespeople that you've met around Pittsburgh, real estate wise, they are like on the go. Like there is no lull. Even if there's a lull in the actual amount of closings that they're having in terms of conversations and them being the salesy kind of person, it doesn't end. They are that person 365, sometimes almost unfortunately, right? If we can just get closer to that, then that's better. All right. So use engagement all year round. I mean, and for me personally, it is like the best time for actually building your pipeline, coincidentally, is the best time when people are most online. Because real estate slows down, regardless, between September, October to February. So, like, let's say October, November to February, business is slow globally, right? Or at least nationally. That is when most people are online. So, like, if you're building a pipeline and you're trying to establish relationships that will feed you through the spring and into the summer, the timing aligns perfectly for a real estate agent. If you had your own separate business that had no seasonality to it, then like you would have to be on all the time, right? We just need to build the relationships now and then let them continue to carry out over the next year. So, like building your spreadsheet in February, March, in July, you should still be executing your spreadsheet, or at least at this point, because you've been doing it enough. Now you're just literally going online and like connecting with people, and you're just talking to people. And the thing is already starting to become a machine and it's working. All right. Of course, one of my biggest rules is like, do not be too professional. It does not work anymore. Right? You always want to be personal, first and foremost. All right. And I do think this is, um, an over under kind of problem, but like you can over automate things. I don't think most people do, but I think that some people try to, and they try to create like this perfect system, and like it doesn't work. So like again, if you're building like a prospecting list, it should take you like a day at most. And like if it's taking you more than a day, you're spending too much time on it and you're making it too perfect. If it's simple and it's easy to execute and it's easy to follow up on it, then like I thought that was my phone. You're good. If it's easy to execute on it, then you're going to continue to do it. If you've built this ridiculously complex list, you've wasted your time and you won't follow up on it. right? So just keep it simple. Do not over automate or do anything else that makes it just too difficult, right? And then of course, I have to just beat this into everyone's heads. Do not ignore your human side. Showcase the things that you like, showcase your hobbies, showcase the things that you dislike, which usually works better. So like if you watch the show and it's terrible, like post about how terrible it was. Right? I mean, that's like that would probably get more engagement. And even if people are like, God, I love that show. What is wrong with you? You have started a great conversation. And that conversation can move in 1,000 different directions. Right? Remember, people work with people who they feel comfortable talking to. That is really the end of the game. Right? Not even necessarily about trust. It's really just like, do I feel comfortable with you? Because that implies trust and respect and a whole bunch of other things. Professional trust is a very specific term. And at this point, we're really just trying to have people like us, which is very high school like. I'm well aware of that. But that's really it, right? Did this make sense? You feel like it was helpful?
Yeah.
Good.